Colossians 3 verse 17. And whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all by Hashem HaMashiach Yahushai, giving thanks to the Most High Yahweh by Hashem HaMashiach Yahushai. So that's what we're going to do. Everything in word and deed is through HaMashiach Yahushai. And so when you look at the scriptures, like I just said, the whole earth is out of course. And you can find that verse in Psalms chapter 82. It says, because of Israel. That's the whole reason why the earth is out of course. Because of our hard-headedness, breaking the law, statutes, and commandments. This is Psalms chapter 82. Psalms 82. I'm going to start at verse 1. It said, the Most High standeth in the congregation of the mighty. Who is the mighty? The mighty are his people. We are Israel. The mighty, mighty Israel. You know, we are the Israelites. So the Most High stands in the congregation of the mighty. He judgeth among the gods. All right. How long will he judge unjustly and accept the persons of the wicked? Selah. So he's telling, here's King David saying that the wicked are in power. Defend the poor and the fatherless. Do justice to the afflicted and the needy. This is all of Israel. That's why a lot of us don't have fathers or mothers, don't know them. Our children are here and there. Some of us don't have children. We're afflicted. We're always in need of something. Medical attention, we're always in need of something. Money, financial gain, we always need something. It says, deliver the poor and needy, rid them out of the hand of the wicked. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All of the foundations of the earth are out of course. This is our people. We're all, not just us, all the nations are out of course. We're all walking in darkness. There's only one who could bring salvation to these people of the mighty who are walking in darkness. Let's go to Matthew chapter 4 and 4. So this is the beginning stages of how Satan took over the earth. Well, in actual reality, remember, he took the keys from Adam. He took the keys to what? The keys of life. Remember, Adam got kicked out of the garden. But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Most High. Then the devil taketh him up into the holy city, and setteth him upon a pinnacle of the temple, and saith unto him, if thou be the Son of the Most High, cast thyself down, for it is written, he shall give his angels charge concerning thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone. Even Satan know the scriptures. That's in Psalms 91. Even Satan know the scriptures. Yahushua said unto him, it is written again, thou shalt not tempt the Most High thy power. Again the devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mountain, and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world, and the glory of them, and saith unto him, all these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. You see that? He said that if he bowed down before all these kingdoms, now this is kingdoms from the past to the future. These are all the kingdoms. Satan is ruling over this whole entire earth. Remember, he has only but a short time to rule. And so this is where he's going. It says, verse 10, then saith Yahushua unto him, get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, thou shalt worship the Most High thy power, and him only shalt thou serve. Then the devil leaveth him, and behold, angels came and ministered unto him. So he's telling Yahushua, look, I own everything. He said, it was given to me. Where was it given to him? In the garden. That's where it was given to him. Where was it given to him? When we broke the commandments in the wilderness. That's where it was given to him. He controls it. He controls this world. And therefore, that's why you see so much wickedness. People are more subsiding with the evil side of this world than they are the good side of this world. And the scriptures talk about that. And so therefore, what you have is Satan ruling this world, and people only believing in Satan, a lie. Let's go to John chapter 14. Gospel of John chapter 14. And listen what Yahushua says very carefully. He said, Hereafter I will not take much with you. For the prince of this world cometh, and have nothing in me. Who is that prince? Satan. But that the world may know that I love the Father, and as the Father gave me commandment, even so I do. Arise, let us go hence. What is the prince of this world? Satan. This is his world. You got to understand what I'm saying. The Protestants removed this book out of the Bible. And I'm going to start with 1 Maccabees chapter 1. And I'm going to drop down. I want to get his name so y'all can see that his name is in here. I'm going to start with verse 1. It reads, And it happened after that, Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead, the first over Greece. So this is the prince that Yahushua was talking about. This is the arch rival of Jacob, Esau. Now this whole topic tonight is not going to be on Esau. It's going to be on the spiritual Satan. 7. And it reads, So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died. What Alexander? Alexander, who they call now Alexander the Great, like they wrote in this book, Alexander the Great. He wasn't great back then like this, but people did shake when you said his name. It says, And his servants bear rule every one in his place. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth. See that? When it say world, it said multiplied in the earth. Evils. So that should tell you right there that Satan is ruling. Satan controls this whole earth. And that's why we're so immune and so desensitized to all the evil things that we see around us today, because people believe in Satan, but they don't believe in the Most High. That's the problem. Let's go to Psalms chapter 58, verse 3. And boy, can I go over some things to prove to you that Satan is ruling this earth. Oh man, other than what you see every day, because we see it all the time. All of us see it. We see it in their politics. We see it, politics. I can't talk sometimes. We see it in everything they do. This is Psalms chapter 58, verse 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. Who was the wicked that we read in 1 Maccabees? It was the Greeks. Does this mean that Israel can't be wicked? Yeah, most I call Israel wicked too. It says the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. All right, but this is talking about Esau, because this is King David. Who did King David take out and cast out? Esau. So we have to understand. So he said the wicked come out speaking lies. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 16. Proverbs chapter 16. And I'm just giving y'all scriptures. You know, I'm scripture based. I'm always show y'all scriptures and not just talk. It's easy to just talk, but I want to show y'all what the Most High says. And what the Most High says is this. Proverbs chapter 16 and 4. Most pastors love to talk. Most preachers love to talk. Most brothers that running a school love to run their mouth. But I'm going to show you what the scriptures say. Proverbs 16 and 4. The Most High have made all things for himself. Yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. He made even the wicked for the day of evil. See that? So why has the Most High created wickedness for the day of evil? Think about it. I mean, do anyone know the definition of wickedness? The Most High uses that word all the time. When you read, I got a New World Dictionary sitting right in front of me. Webster's New World Dictionary of the American Language, Warner Books, paperback edition. And this is an old book because it's falling apart. I use it all the time. But in this book, wickedness, it says morally bad. Okay, we all know what morally is. The word moral comes from morality or reality. It means the condition to know right from wrong. All right, this is coming from the scriptures when they say things are moral or morally. So it's saying morally bad, evil. We read that in the first book of Maccabees. It said, and evils multiplied in the earth. It also says in this dictionary, wickedness is described as mischievous. Mischievous. To show great skill. Mischief. That's why when they came and killed the Israelites in the first book of Maccabees, they decreed a law and a policy. That's being mischievous. And they told them to refrain from their laws. They told to refrain from their understanding of their forefathers. That's mischievousness. Great skill to do that. So, don't you know that all wickedness is evil? And that all wickedness is premeditated. Think about all the evil that's done across this earth that happen every day on the news. All of it's premeditated. Somebody thinks about it before they do it. It always begins as a thought and then is acted out. Always. This is evil. So when you think about things like that, why does the Most High allow Satan to live, if that's the case? Why does he allow him to live? He could take him out today. Boom, he could take him out. There'd be no more evil on the earth. But we have to understand what the prophecies say. Because the prophets, that's all they talked about was, Lord, when are you coming back? When are you going to do away with this evil one? Let's go to Ezekiel. Book of Ezekiel, chapter 18. And look at what the scriptures say about this spiritual demon Satan on the earth. Ezekiel 18:4. It says, behold, all souls are mine. As the soul of the Father, so also the soul of the Son is mine. The soul that sinneth, it shall die. That explains something very simple. When you look at 1 John 3:4, what does it say? Sin is the transgression of the law. Right? It says, whoever sinneth, let's go there real quick. And if I'm moving too fast, just tell me to slow down a little bit. But I'm trying to get this lesson out. When you look at 1 John chapter 3, verse 4, and it reads, whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law. And ye know that he has manifested to take away our sins, and in him is no sin. Whosoever abideth in him sinneth not. Whosoever sinneth have not seen him, neither known him. That's very important. It says, whosoever sinneth have not seen him. That's why you have to understand, when you look at the entire world and look at all this chaos, these people ain't seen the Hamashiach. They haven't known the Hamashiach. They're not even afraid of Jacob nor Jacob's power. So the chaos that we're seeing on this earth right now is immeasurable with wickedness. That's what we're seeing today. Over and over and over. Sometimes it's the same people doing the same stupid stuff over and over and over. Catching breaks all the time. But for the most part, the world is in a ball of great confusion. I think Chuck D said that. And it's like that. And that's the way it is. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 6 and 9. 1 Corinthians chapter 6 and 9. Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High? Be not deceived. There it is again. That be not deceived is the same thing as whosoever sinneth have not seen him. That's why it says, be not deceived. Neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, Effeminate, y'all know what effeminates are. Those who act like RuPaul. Nor abusers of themselves with mankind. Okay, so when we look at those abusers of themselves with mankind, that's sexual abuse. That's drug abuse. Homosexual abuse. All right, you probably say I'm making things up. No, it's abuse, right? When you look at TV or a movie, for example, you get abused by watching programs with homosexuality on those programs when they're having relations openly in the middle of your favorite show, catching you off guard. You know, the show's going well. All of a sudden, they throw a homosexual act in there in the middle of your show and just make you just get disgusted. So I said, most of you brothers watching these TV shows and you see two men hugging and kissing, you should turn your head. Do not let your mind and your body get used to that. Don't do it. You know what I mean? Because what it's doing is desensitizing even the brothers of the righteousness, the brothers that are following this truth. It's even desensitizing us. So don't even watch it. Turn your head, turn your eyes, man. Guard everything. Because that's what they're trying to do. They start out with a little bit, before you know it, you have channels, you have full channels of homosexuality, and they'll multiply. Okay, and then you'll be used to it, and your children will be used to it. So they're openly doing this, and it's a form of abuse. All right, that's abuse. It's not normal. It's unlawful. That's what it is. So let's go back to 1 Corinthians 6, and let's go to verse 10. It says, nor thieves, nor covetous, nor drunkards, nor revilers, nor extortioners shall inherit the kingdom of the Most High. Most High is keeping it simple and plain. So here are more wicked evils. That's what this are. These are the evils. The brothers will be like, you can't keep the commandments in this time and age? Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Satan is running like a roaring lion, and you talking about not keeping the commandments? That's what we have to understand. Look at what Esdras said about that in the Apocrypha, about these people. He prophesied about it too. The angel showed Esdras. 2 Esdras 8 and 57. 2 Esdras 8 and 57, it reads, it says, moreover, they have trodden down his righteous and said in their heart that there is no God, yea, and that knowing they must die. For as the things aforesaid shall receive you, so thirst and pain are prepared for them. For it was not his will that men should come to naught. See that? The Most High made men to live forever, not to die. Verse 60, but they which be created have defiled the name of him that made them, and were unthankful unto him which prepared life for them. But they believe in Satan. Here, the Most High created them and Satan, but they don't believe the Most High. And therefore is my judgment now at hand. These things have I not showed unto all men, but unto you, and a few like you. Then answered I and said, behold, O power, now hast thou showed me the multitude of the wonders which thou wilt begin to do in the last times. But at what time thou hast not showed me. See that? This is talking about these times. He was showing Esdras. Esdras didn't know. He couldn't put the puzzle together when these times would come. He was a smart man. All right, our prophets back then could read. I have my grandfather couldn't even read. You take him to the hospital to get a shot. He couldn't even read the signs on the wall. You rolling him around in a wheelchair. He couldn't read them. But our prophets could read back then. Okay, that's sad, man. He had to ask me, son, what are they gonna do there? Give me a shot? I said, yes, sir, Grandpa. He was like, okay, I just want to make sure you know what you're talking about. That's the destruction that we received in this kingdom. The corruption that we received in this kingdom. Our elders had to depend on us, on those of us who were young, that would learn in the ways of Babylon. Let's go to Galatians chapter 5. So Esdras said, this is what's going to happen, man. Chapter 5 said these people are going to perish. Let's read verse 19. Because these are more wicked evils that's on the earth today. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance. Hatred is a big one. Witchcraft is a big one. Idolatry is a big one. All these are huge today. Emulations. See that in the music world. Everybody emulating each other. Wrath, strife, seditions, heresies. All these heresies out today. Envyings, murders, drunkenness, revelings, and such like of thee, which I tell you before, as I have also told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High. So we're all in a stupor down here. That's why we have a big task on this planet to wake up these people. All these things I just spoke of on Fox News, ABC, NBC, HBO, Showtime, Cinemax, Netflix, Hulu, all of these channels that I just mentioned, these channels compete for these evils in informing you and making money of these tragedies of the tempter or the destroyer or Satan. Making money off of all these things. Think about it. They are pushing the envelope on the evils of Babylon, on the evils of the Greeks, on the evils of the spiritual Satan. That's going on today. So Satan does exist. So you know the Most High exists. Go to Romans 6. Romans chapter 6, verse 23. It says, for the wages of sin is what? Y'all know this? The wages of sin is what? Death. But they said they ain't in no sin. They haven't committed a sin. Our people are lost for lack of knowledge, man. It says, but the gift of the Most High is eternal life through Hamashiach Yahushai. This word is being preached to the four corners of the earth, and people are still not wanting to hear this truth. So that's why I want to show you a verse almost as short as Jesus wept that's in the Bible that has a lot of punch behind it. 1 Thessalonians 5 and 22. This is almost as short. The Most High says in 1 Thessalonians 5 and 22, abstain from all appearance of evil. Basically, he said, reject every kind of evil. Reject it. Every type. What is every type of evil? Everything we went over. Everything we went over that would keep you from inheriting everlasting life. Which is being pushed hard in these days and times. To keep you from everlasting life. They laugh and scorn you when you talk about that you're a Bible believer. 1 Timothy chapter 1 verse 9. 1 Timothy 1 and 9. 1 Timothy 1 and 9 reads, knowing this, that the law is not made for a righteous man. I'm about to bring y'all up to speed because we're in school right now. It says, knowing this, that the law is not made for a righteous man. What's a righteous man? Have you met one? Have you seen one? Have you been around one? What is a righteous man? Have you women ever been married to one? Or ever dated one? Have you brothers who never had a father ever seen a righteous man? What is a righteous man? Do any of you brothers listening think that you are a righteous man? Remember what Yahushua said. He said, there's no one good, not one. Most High even said, he said, not one is good that dwell on the earth. So what is a righteous man? But for the lawless and disobedient, for the ungodly, and for sinners, for unholy and profane, for murderers of fathers and murderers of mothers, for manslayers, for whoremongers, for them that dwell or defile themselves with mankind, for men stealers, for liars, for perjured persons, and if there be any other thing that is contrary to sound doctrine. Paul was sitting there scoping this out. He was writing this stuff down. Everything that he could brainstorm, he was putting it down. So what does that mean? Did Hamashiach come? Yeah, he came. All you brothers and sisters that believe in Hamashiach, you should be way past those who are struggling with the law right now. You should be way past that. I gotta understand what I'm saying. So what do I mean by that? When you look at what we just read, the meaning, struggling that I just said with the law, if you haven't stopped doing it, if you haven't stopped doing what you were involved in or something that you couldn't stop because you haven't learned the Hamashiach, then you haven't changed. For example, a sister, right? A sister, most sisters have a problem when they get around other sisters, especially like in beauty salon. Sisters that are not in the truth, they have a problem with things such as lying. A lot of sisters lie. Or boast. Or gossip. And gossip turns into other things, right? Sometimes it can turn into emulation, and sometimes it can turn into bickering and fighting. When you have sisters like that, say you come into the truth. You get into this little confrontation of sisters going back and forth with different stories where they eventually lie to. Brothers get into the same situation. The whole point is they haven't changed because they have not been reading them laws in the Bible. By reading the laws, all that does is tell you that they are trying to change. But if they're not reading them, they're not changing. They're supposed to be trying to change. So in that retrospect, she hasn't learned Hamashiach. The whole point about Hamashiach is we got to get past learning the laws to correct ourselves before we could be Hamashiachim. Before we could be perfect in this truth, we got to understand what Hamashiach was trying to teach us. And basically, a lot of us are pretty good with not really breaking too many laws. Okay? Some of us have some serious laws, like Paul says. Some brothers have problems murdering people. And that murdering is not just talking about killing someone in cold blood. That murdering is in your thoughts. Zapping somebody out in your thought process. You know, you can murder somebody in your mind. It's a form of premeditated murder, but you're just not doing the action. It's the same thing. Remember, the Most High hears your thoughts. You get around some people, and that's how you feel when you're just around them. You may not act it out, but in your mind, that's what you're thinking. Like, oh, I could, have you heard people say that before? I could just murder him, or I could just kill him. You've heard people say that growing up. You heard your mama or your sister say something like that. Oh, I'm going to kill him when I see him. It's a way of saying things. It's a way of rationalizing things in your mind, not to injure that person and yourself with your thoughts, because everything is being recorded, right? The Most High is recording everything. Most of y'all so worried about Esau recording y'all. What you really should be understanding is that the Most High put Esau as a whipping stick for the children of Israel. Esau is putting that fear in you about your cell phones and laptops and policies and procedures to clear your thoughts. Now you got brothers and sisters scared to talk on the phone, thinking they tapped. But Esau's the whipping stick, right? The Most High is using the so-called white man to whip you, to get even your thoughts in line and stop thinking negatively or wickedly. For you to shape up your thoughts to get back in line with the Most High and not to even think a premeditated thought or say it. So it's a blessing in disguise. Y'all brothers and sisters got to wake up and see what the Most High is doing. Some sisters have problems talking bad about people. Some sisters are like that. And so, have they truly learned Hamashiach? No, they have not. In order to be perfect, you have to correct the very thing that you have a problem with. And the only way you're going to show most brothers and sisters who are not in the truth about correcting themselves is showing them the law in the Bible. This is what Paul was talking about. Those who struggle in the world with sin, they better stay in this Bible and see their sin in the Bible. And by that, stop and follow the Hamashiach to the Father. So when you read the Bible, your soul automatically should be afflicted with a form of a controversy. Okay, that controversy is supposed to change you. It's supposed to make you see in retrospect what you've been doing all along and be like, oh, I messed up. That's what Paul meant in 1 Timothy chapter 9 when he says, knowing this, that the law is not made for a righteous man, but for the lawless and disobedient. Most of us are not that lawless. We have a few things that we need to work on, but for the most part, most of us try to live our lives according to what the Most High says. But to be perfect, this is what we have to do. Let's go to 1 Timothy 3 and 16. 1 Timothy 3 and 16. And it reads, and without controversy, great is the mystery of godliness. See that? Without controversy, great is the mystery of godliness. The Most High was manifest in the flesh, justified in the spirit, seen of angels, preached unto the Gentiles, believed on in the world, received up into glory. See all these things he did? Just by doing the will of the Most High and keeping his laws, keeps you out of controversy. Let's go to Galatians 3 and 24. This is something most Christians read over, even some brothers in the truth. And Christians love going to Galatians, frankly, because they don't understand it and it seems like it fits them. But when you read Galatians 3 and 24, it reads, wherefore the law was our schoolmaster. What does that mean? The law was our schoolmaster. It taught us what we were doing wrong and to make haste to change quickly. So it got us on that bicycle to ride back to the Most High again. Once you learn how to ride a bike, what is it going to do? To bring us unto Hamashiach, that we might be justified by faith. See that? So the law is our schoolmaster. Once we get past those branches or those problems, guess what? Now we should be riding that bike with no problem. We should be Hamashiachim at that point. Okay? I know what I have. All of our brothers and sisters know what their sins are. We got to correct it by going to the law and seeing where we're messing up. Like brother, I ain't going to say his name. The brother said to me today, who's dealing with the sister in the truth, and he's actually teaching her about the truth. And he told her, sister, I've been dealing with you. Now I can't leave you. He says, I have to stay with you and fulfill what I'm supposed to do as an Israelite man. Okay? He said, I got to stay with you. And the sister coming into the truth, she's trying to understand what he's saying. And she said, prove it to me according to what? The scriptures. So we're going to go into the scriptures to learn the law. And then once we get that understanding, that little understanding, we should be rolling with Hamashiach. You understand? That's the way we're supposed to be. And so that's why he says that the law was our schoolmaster. It's going to teach us righteousness. That's what it's about, teaching us righteousness. That's the mystery. Study the laws of the Most High to help and show brothers their sins and to repent and follow Hamashiach. Here's a scripture that's the same thing but wasn't explained this way. But now when you read it, you're going to see. Let's go to Matthew 7. Matthew chapter 7. And let's read verse 1. Matthew chapter 7, verse 1, and it reads, Judge not that ye be not judged. For with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged. And with what measure you meet, it shall be measured to you again. And why beholdest thou the mite that is in thy brother's eye, but consider not the beam that is in thine own eye? You got to get yourself right first. Or how wilt thou say to thy brother, let me pull out the mite out of thine eye, and behold, a beam is in thine own eye? Thou hypocrite, first cast out the beam out of thy own eye, and then shalt thou see clearly to cast out the mite out of the brother's eye. So what it's basically saying is what we just went over. You got to come to the laws, make that your schoolmaster, learn yourself, teach yourself, and then teach others once you get the understanding to help them get the mite out of their eyes. And with that, it's going to lead you where? To Hamashiach, who's going to walk us back to the Father. That's the importance of these scriptures. Let me show you another scripture like this. This is in the Old Testament. Isaiah chapter 59. You gotta understand, this is Satan's kingdom, and the only way we're going to get understanding is to come back to the law. When brother says the law's done away with, I even see Israelite brothers now, some saying the law's done away with, and I know they don't understand when they say certain things. But the law is our schoolmaster. Once we graduate from that, Hamashiach is waiting on us. Isaiah 59 and 9. Isaiah 59 and 9. Therefore is judgment far from us, neither doth justice overtake us. We wait for light, but behold obscurity for brightness, but we walk in darkness. We grope for the wall like the blind, and we grope as if we had no eyes. We stumble at noonday as in the night. We are in desolate places as dead men. We roar all like bears and mourn sore like doves. We look for judgment, but there is none. For salvation, but it is far off from us. Why? Because they have to learn the schoolmaster. They have to repent. Look at verse 12. For our transgressions are multiplied before thee, and our sins testify against us. That's why when you read the scriptures, what is it doing? Testifying against you. Like, oh man, I didn't know that. I didn't know that was in the scriptures. Now you know not to do it. For our transgressions are with us, and as for our iniquities, we know them. In transgressing and lying against the Most High, and departing away from our power. Speaking oppression and revolt, conceiving and uttering from the heart words of falsehood. See that? And judgment is turned away backward. How is judgment turned away backward? Because you never knew the law. Guess what? How's that judgment going to affect you? Judgment turned away backward is Deuteronomy 28. What was our correct judgment? To get blessing. What's our backward judgment? The curses. That's judgment turned away backwards. And justice standeth afar off. For truth is fallen in the street, and equity cannot enter. All right? So he's saying truth is here, but they don't still know how to enter. Yea, truth faileth. And that's what brothers and sisters say. When they hear the truth, they be like, man, this truth ain't for me. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Y'all didn't go to school. That's why it says, and truth faileth. And he that departeth from evil maketh himself a prey. See? All right, man, I'm a Christian. I'm just going to stay away from that over there. But they don't know the law. And the Most High saw it, and it displeased him that there was no judgment. And he saw that there was no man, and wondered that there was no intercessor. No one to teach him, like Matthew 7, 1 through 5. Someone had to pluck that mite out of their own eye to show these brothers and sisters what they had in their eye. It says, therefore his arm brought salvation unto him, and his righteousness, it sustained him. Who is his arm? Let's go to Gospel of John, chapter 12. Let's prove who the right arm of the Most High is. And they don't even have the precept there. Then Yahushua said unto them, Yet a little while is the light with you. Walk while ye have the light, lest darkness come upon you. For he that walketh in darkness knoweth not whither he goeth. That's what Isaiah was just saying. While ye have light, believe in the light, that ye may be the children of light. That these things spoke Yahushua and departed, and did hide himself from them. But though he had done so many miracles before them, yet they believed not on him. That's where it says that truth fell of us. They still didn't believe in Isaiah. That the saying of Isaiah the prophet might be fulfilled, which he spoke. The Most High, who hath believed our report, and to whom hath the arm of the Most High been revealed. All right? Therefore they could not believe, because that Isaiah said again, He hath blinded their eyes and hardened their heart, that they should not see with their eyes, nor understand with their heart, and be converted, and I should heal them. These things said Isaiah when he saw his glory, and spoke of him. Spoke of who? Mashiach. That was the right hand. That was the right arm of the Most High. If we could recognize mayhem, carnage, lying, cheating, filthy lucre, if we could manage all these, or see the symptoms of all these things, why can't we see what's right? Why can't we go back to the scriptures and understand what the Most High wants us to do? Crazy thing, I was doing this little research, right? And what I noticed about how Satan is ruling this earth is, of course, you know with Job 9:24, it says the earth is in the hands of the wicked. Covereth the judges thereof. If not, who is the wicked, right? And then 2 Esdras 6:9 in the Apocrypha says, For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is that beginneth afterwards. So when you think about all those things, what is Satan doing through men? We know that this is the end times. We know that wickedness rules this earth. We know that evil men are controlling things. And what does the media not report on the news? That's evil. One of which was factories that produce rising carbon dioxide in the air. And this carbon dioxide goes into the oceans and burns up and deforms the smallest food chain at the bottom of the ocean. That was one of the things I pulled up. If it's doing that at the bottom of the ocean, guess what it's doing up here on land? Another thing is, man is poaching fish so much that he's messing up the whole ecosystem. The fish that he's poaching is running out further into the sea and running right to their other predator, therefore making food very scarce. That's another thing that they're not reporting. Then about the crimes and the politics, right? You know, you got that going on. Then you got the Aboriginal people, the original Aboriginal people of the Americas and most of the countries are almost wiped out. But the Most High said that there's no end of the peoples. But they're all at a minimum. And when Esau says wiped out, it's basically they're lost for a lack of knowledge too. A lot of the people are lost. They don't know who they are. So that's some of the things that I put up. Of course, you know about the sexual abuse. But the thing about the sexual abuse is all these countries are backing it. They're all backing these sexual abuse cases. Meaning, you know, they're putting children in cages and having sex with them and things like that. They're funding this whole thing. And people trying to say that Satan ain't ruling this place? You know, another thing is Verizon and Comcast. They're about to come up with a whole new internet. They're in the works of monopolizing a two-tier internet right now. And the whole point is to monopolize people's businesses and their identities. That's what they're trying to do right now. Okay, that's another thing that the news is not talking about. Another one is I wrote this one down. It's called the Trans-Pacific Partnership. It appears to be like a secret deal to help corporations, big corporations, bigger than the elite Okay, these corporations, like the pharmaceuticals is one example. Okay, they're squeezing out everybody, and they're coming together. So, you got that. And then you got the bankers on Wall Street. They still haven't been arrested. The ones who was committing all those crimes during the time of the market fall in 2009, all these banks, all these CEOs, and they all escaped with criminal charges pending. They all got off, and they're still scheming off the top. And you want to say that this place ain't Babylon? People want to say that there ain't no God? The Satan is definitely here. 1 John chapter 5, verse 19. 1 John 5 and 19, and it reads, Then answered Yahushua and said unto them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, the Son can do nothing of himself, but what he seeth the Father do. For what things soever he doeth, these also doeth the Son likewise. For the Father loveth the Son, and showeth him all things that himself doeth. And he will show him greater works than these, that ye may marvel. Think about this. When Yahushua came, and the thing about the Most High is he always talks first. Then he shows his power. When Yahushua first came, what did he do? He just spoke. He spoke the words. You didn't see him coming in power. But what does he say when he returns? How's he going to come? He's going to come in power. Everything we do, the prophets, we always speak with words, and then what? We come in power. The Most High is going to show his force. This is what we have to understand. Let's look at how long Satan can afflict a human, afflict a brother and sister in his truth. Let's see. Let's go to Luke. Because people they don't think Satan got power, but Satan got a form of power too. And it's for a reason. Let's look at Luke chapter 13. And this was back during the days of Yahushua. So just imagine this is 2-3 times more stronger now than back then, because people have lost faith and hope. Luke 13 verse 11. And behold, there was a woman which had a spirit of infirmity 18 years, and was bowed together, and could in no wise lift herself. And when Yahushua saw her, he called her to him, and said unto her, Woman, thou art loosed from thy infirmity. And he laid his hands on her, and immediately she was made straight, and glorified the Most High. You see that? 18 years this woman was stricken with this infirmity. 18 years. You don't think she believed in the Heavenly Father? She believed. She believed. She had faith. She had faith. Who was able to free her from that? The Most High Son, Yahushua. See how powerful that is? So this temper has to be removed. Think about this. Why does he take, like I said earlier, why doesn't the Most High take him out? Because he could do just that. He could take him out forever. But if he took him out, that would go against the prophecy. So he leaves him on the earth so more of his saints' glory will shine, brighter during the time of war, during the time of a battle. That's the reason why he won't take Satan out. We got to be afflicted. So I'd like to shine bright, to show power in his name, not our name, but his name, to show how powerful he is. So we have a great battle to do right now. Let's go to John chapter 17. Gospel of John chapter 17. Gospel of John chapter 17 verse 23. And it reads, I in them and thou in me, that they may be made perfect in one, and that the world may know that thou hast sent me, and hast loved them, as thou hast loved me. Who is that world? The world of Israel. Father, I will that they also whom thou hast given me be with me where I am, that they may behold my glory which thou hast given me. So the Most High gives us all a form of glory through Hamashiach Yahushai to raise up the name of the Father. and his Son. For thou lovest me before the foundation of the world. O righteous Father, the world hath not known thee, but I have known you. And these have known that thou hast sent me. And I have declared unto them thy name, and will declare it, that the love wherewith thou hast loved me may be in them, and I in them. So the whole point is believing, having faith, and using that law to be a schoolmaster to get us to Hamashiach Yahushua so we can walk and teach others. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 18. In the Apocrypha. Y'all gonna trip off of this verse, because this is how the Most High come down when your faith is great. This is how he come down to rescue you. This is Wisdom of Solomon 18, and let's go to verse 15. Listen to how the Most High sends the Spirit down on earth. It reads, Thine almighty word leaped down from heaven out of the royal throne as a fierce man of war into the midst of a land of destruction. You see how he just came off his throne, sent that Spirit down to help you? Woof! Come down as a man of war. It says, and brought thine unfeigned commandment as a sharp sword, and standing up filled all things with death. And it touched the heaven, but it stood upon the earth. Then suddenly visions of horrible dreams troubled them sore. Who's them? That's the wicked ones. And terrors came upon them, unlooked for. And one thrown here, and another there, half dead, showed the cause of his death. For the dreams that troubled them did foreshow this, lest they should perish, and not know why they were afflicted. Yea, the tasting of death touched the righteous also, and there was a destruction of the multitude of the wilderness. But the wrath endured not long. See that? So the righteous, we're going to be afflicted too. That's why Satan is here. He's here to make our light shine brighter. He said that even the righteous was afflicted. I'll read that last part again. And there was the destruction of the multitude in the wilderness, but the wrath endured not long. See, the righteous is going to endure through all that. For then the blameless man made haste, and stood forth to defend them, and bringing the shield of his proper ministry. See that? Even prayer and the appropriation of incense set himself against the wrath. So he overcame the destroyer, not with strength of body, nor force of arms, but with a word subdued he him that punished, alleging the oaths and covenants made with thy fathers. For when the dead were now fallen dead by heaps one upon another, standing between, he stayed the wrath and parted the way to the living. For in the long garment was the whole world, and in the 4 rows of the stones was the glory of the fathers graven, and thy majesty upon the diadem of his head. All right? Because the Most High wears a crown. And the 4 stones is north, west, east, south, right? And that garment is the whole earth. Unto these the destroyer gave place, and was afraid of them. For it was enough that they only tasted of the wrath. So the Most High is telling our people, look, believe in me, have faith, keep those laws, and he'll send Hamashiach down on the earth to fight for us, his spirit down here to fight for us in the form of Michaela or, Gabriela. One of these angels come down and fight for us. So we have to understand. Let's go to Colossians 2 and 15. In the midst of all this confusion. Colossians chapter 2 verse 15. Colossians chapter 2 verse 15. And having spoiled principalities and powers, he made a show of them openly, triumphing over them in it. That's the same thing that was in that verse. We're going to triumph over our enemies. Throughout all these different principalities that come against us and powers, we're going to triumph over them. That's why you got to keep your faith. We have to be supremely satisfied in Hamashiach. Let's go to 2 Esdras 8. Because this is saving the world, man. We're going to have to fight through it. 2 Esdras chapter 8, verse 51. But understand thou for thyself, and seek out the glory for such as be like thee. For unto you is paradise open, the tree of life is planted, the time to come is prepared, plenteousness is made ready. A city is builded, and the rest is allowed, yea, perfect goodness and wisdom. The root of evil is sealed up from you. Weakness and the moth is hid from you, and corruption is fled into hell to be forgotten. See that? Sorrows are past, and in the end show the treasure of immortality. So immortality is what we're all shooting for. We're all shooting for that long life, and to have that strength and that glory of the Most High. That's what we're all shooting for. And therefore ask thou no more questions concerning the multitude of them that perish, for when they had taken liberty, they despised the Most High, thought scorn of his law, and forsook his ways. So listen, what you have to understand is there is a power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And his light is here, but he wants to afflict us, and he wants us to see what we have to do to get through this. Revelation chapter 20, verse 10. And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night, forever and ever. See that? So the beast is different from the devil. Who is the beast? We're living in the beast right now. We're living. This is America, spiritually called Babylon, is the beast. Who is the false prophet? Who is that? False prophet is the Vatican. Okay? Through the Vatican, all these churches are standing teaching lies. They're all going to be cast into the lake of fire. Let's go to Revelation 21 and 7. Revelation 21 and 7. Scriptures read, he that overcometh shall inherit all things. The whole point is about overcoming Satan. We're overcoming his lies, right? We're overcoming his city. We're overcoming his beast policies. It says, he that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his power, and he shall be my son. But the fearful, which most people are going to be, the unbelieving, and the abominable, and murderers, and whoremongers, and sorcerers, and idolaters, and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. See that? So, do we have a power that's merciful, that's able to take down this beast, this Satan, this devil, this tempter, this destroyer? Absolutely. Because a lot of people that's involved in all these crimes and things of that nature are all in the form of idolatry. It's all idolatry. That's what Eve fell from, idolatry. You know, worshiping of herself and worshiping of Satan, wanting to be bigger than Adam. Okay, they were both gods in the garden already. They were already gods. That's what you have to understand. So, it's...
This is the word of the Lord of hosts. I took you from the pastures and from following the sheep to be prince over my people Israel. I have been with you wherever you have gone and have destroyed all the enemies in your path. I will make you a great name among the great ones of the earth. I will assign a place for my people in Israel. There I will plant them, and they shall dwell in their own land.
that is not the truth. You know, you're going to come to that, you know, because that happened to me. You know, it's me growing into this truth. You know, so you're going to have doubt sometimes. But that's the same thing with your house, y'all. When the devil came down and asked him, you know, I give you the whole thing, you know, the whole world. You know what I mean? So these are the things that we got to, if he was tempted, how come we can't be tempted? You know? So, but yeah, it was a good lesson.
Con, Thwada.
I have one.
Go ahead, sis.
What was that? 1 John 5 and what? 5.
Towards the end or towards the beginning? Oh, John 5 and 19. It was 1 John 5 and 19.
1 John 5 and 19.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right.
Con.
Anybody celebrate Memorial Day? I was just being funny.
Memorial Day was Passover, remembering when
That's right.
Moses brought us out of Egypt. Remembering that. That's right. That's our Memorial Day.
Yeah. That's right.
That's right.
Thanks for the reminder, my brother.